Time. Selfish by nature, and it waits for no one. But tonight, dear listener, we at Penance RPG bring you another tale from the minds of Nikolai Popsky and Artie McNeil. A tale of a village with a hidden secret and a party of heroes racing against the clock. So as we wind up the timer, we bid thee stay a while, for this is one of many variations of our 2019 Halloween story.
Welcome to the Penance Halloween special. This week it's our third collab. So, one voice you'll recognise already from a different episode, but she is filling in because we've been quite short-handed this week. So, who are you? Where do people know you from? And who are you playing tonight? Starting with Anerin.
Hello, I am Dragon, but tonight I am playing Anerin. She is a tabaxi thief. She is not particularly tall, and I'm afraid she's not a very smart tabaxi. Kind of channeling another one of my cats. Again, not the clever one this time. She likes to be sure that nobody is sneaking up on her, which is why she's a thief, so that she's usually the one in the shadows.
Next, we have Bertrahm Olivander.
Olivander, yeah, good call.
Bertrahm Olivander.
Hi there, I'm Shia. You might know me as Cinder Blocksally from the internet. And I am playing Bertrahm Olivander, a human raised in the woods by flumps to learn and seek all things arcana-esque and lore-esque, but never learned to read. Books are scary, and I don't like falling down because I'm a frail little man, so falling also gives me much worry.
And finally this episode, we have Feldora Tempest.
Hello, I'm known as Anthrax on Discord for the most part. I'll be playing Feldora Tempest. He's a male tabaxi fighter, and his fears, he has one that when he was a child, his parents would scare him with tales of, if you don't behave, you'll wake up one day and you'll be a herbivore. And alternatively, when he goes fishing, he was frightened because he was told there were things in the water bigger than he is that could eat him, like a shark. So he's very, very leery about deep, deep water, especially because of the sharks. He likes to be the big, powerful, dominant creature, just a lot of strength there. He's okay in intelligence, but his main thing is strength.
Okay, so you have met the cast. Now let us begin our tale. So, as per usual with our Halloween stories, you have all responded to the request for work from the tavern room wall, and as you have all arrived in this small tavern in this relatively busy city, you take your place at this table, and a couple of minutes later this quite shaggy looking gentleman in a dirty looking long leather coat walks in and introduces himself as Christoph Raducan. He tells you that one of his close friends and one of his guild's best beast hunters, a man by the name of Wilfred Barsh, has gone missing after a small excursion to the neighbouring village of Dorohirsk. He would like you all to journey down to Dorohirsk and find out what's happened, because Wilfred is not the man that would go missing for no reason. What would you like to know?
When was the last conversation you had with him?
The last conversation I had with Wilfred was about a month ago. The last conversation we had through letter was about 3 weeks ago.
So, how often would you expect to hear from him?
Usually we keep in contact. We're happy enough with him just contacting us once a week, but the last 3 weeks we've heard absolutely nothing, and our letters have been returned to us from the inn in Dorohirsk saying that they have never heard of anyone called Wilfred.
Wait a minute, they said they've never heard of anyone named Wilfred?
No one of that name known at that address.
Well, that's weird. That's very curious. I'm quite curious about that. Feldora, have you ever heard of anybody losing their memory or like a town forgetting somebody before?
I've heard of individuals getting amnesia from time to time, but not an entire town.
I can understand why this brings worry. Forgetting someone is a terrible thing. Well, I'm happy to go check this out. I must say, this has piqued my interest.
So,
I'm curious, what's the reward like?
He tells you he will pay you 50 gold up front, and he'll pay you a further 50 gold upon you returning with information.
50 gold per person?
Mm-hmm.
That's not bad at all.
That's all I needed. Alright, I'm motivated.
I don't know if many of you are familiar with the small village of Dorahirsk. It is where the royal family used to take their vacations in their summer house, overlooking the village in a small castle. But as we all know, the royal family have passed away a few years ago to that horrible plague that ravaged the land.
I'm sorry, I've been living in the woods without talking to people for many years. Can you remind me what this horrible plague was?
It was a plague that took the king first of all, and then within a year the queen and the very young son also passed away, God rest their souls. Since the royal family have passed away, no one really visits Dorahirsk anymore, at least for a few years. Now it mostly seems to be known for its turnip harvest.
We'll keep those away from Feldora.
Yeah, turnip.
why did Wilfred go to this small town?
Well, as we all know, it's just past midsummer and it's not exactly vampire season, but this village has been sending letters for the past about 6 months claiming they have a vampire problem. And, many people that complain about vampire problems say our young maidens are being taken, but, this village seemed to tell us that small animals had been left sanguinated. No human casualties as far as they could mention, but they seemed to claim that this vampire was eating animals. We didn't think much of it, to be honest, but as time went on and, sort of down season effectively for beast hunters, you don't get much of them in the summer. So Wilfred thought he'd just make some easy gold and go and visit to this Dorahirsk and find out what the problem was.
How do they know it was a vampire that was eating the animals?
Well, that's what we sent Wilfred to investigate.
Oh, I see.
They claimed it was a vampire because animals had been found sanguinated, but that's about all they told us.
That can happen in a variety of ways.
Yep, that's
All you
true.
need is a tube and a little bit of time and a couple people with low morals.
That sounds distressing.
Horrible. Yes, very horrible.
Yeah, my parents used to deal with people like that. Alright, so what we know is that Wilfred is gone. He was on the hunt for some vampires. Is there anything we should know about the town before we just roll on in, aside from the fact that it used to be where the royal family vacationed? Are there any cultural norms we need to be aware of, or
as far as
weird
we're aware,
attitudes or anything like that?
As far as we're aware, there's not anything really. I mean, the village just seemed quite quaint. It seemed to have lost a lot of tourism since the royal family died, and we did wonder if the only reason they were after a vampire hunter was to create a sort of buzz of, we've got a vampire hunter hunting a vampire. There didn't seem to be much other reason to visit.
Is there anything we need to know about the vampire's weaknesses? Do we need a special weapon or tool or something?
Might I make a lore or arcana roll to see if I would know about how to slay a vampire?
Yeah, sure. You've heard the vague stories, stake through the heart, usual things. Silver has a slight more effect on them, but it's mostly just this typical sort of, beast lore.
Yeah, it depends on which vampire books you read, but it's basically, stake through the heart, daylight, silver.
Yep, your standard vampire lore, yeah.
Cool.
As far as he's aware, not really much you need to be that aware of. I mean, the average person can kill a vampire, it just needs to be shot in the right place.
Well, Feldora, I've heard you tell many a tale of your mighty strength and deeds. What say you to, perhaps slaying a vampire?
I look forward to the challenge.
Anerin, what do you think?
I think this sounds very weird. I'm curious as to why they now have never heard of Wilfred.
Yeah,
That is most
that's
unusual.
super weird. Do vampires take people's memories? I don't think they do.
I don't think so.
I'll be honest, I know very little about vampires. I was mostly just trying to sound cool in front of my friends earlier when I said I did.
We might just need to see what we find once we get there.
Yeah, let me just get my shield and my wand and my flasks and chalks. You guys have all your stuff? What time of day is it? Can we just hit the road?
He tells you that there's a coach leaving tomorrow morning, and it will take about half a day to get there.
Okay, sounds good to me.
Okay.
That's fine.
You just put everything in my pockets that I need.
He stands up and gestures and says, "Is there anything else you wish to know before I leave?"
What's the weather supposed to be like tonight?
The weather is meant to be cloudy-ish, but not too cold.
Okay.
Sounds good to me. I don't have any other questions. I think I'm ready to go see what's happening.
He stands up, he bows again and tells you that when you return to inquire basically for him at this inn, and he will come down and pay you your reward for getting that information back for him. You spend the night drinking, as most adventurers do, and the next morning you...
I was going to clarify that I probably was drinking mostly root beer.
Fair enough. And the next morning you all arise, get in this cart and head off. The journey is very uneventful, not really much happens, but as it gets into early evening, your cart rises over this final hill and then descends into the hamlet that is Dorahursk. As your cart pulls into the blacksmith stables area, you realise that there are 6 major landmarks around that could potentially be worth visiting. This is the castle, which is an old-style castle where it looks like a single door of entry. It looks like it's been there a long time, and there are many signs of attempted forced entry that have failed over the years. There is the blacksmith stables, which you stand at now, which seems to have a youngish man working at an anvil. You see the town hall, which is a moderately elaborate-looking building. It looks like it was very much designed in the heyday when the royal family were much more around. You see the inn, which is the only other building with any kind of finery at all. Quite a sort of largish, grand-looking inn, quite nice and appealing in a rustic kind of way. You see the town square, which has quite an intrinsic, elaborate-looking fountain. Again, very much from a heyday of long past royal visits and such. And finally, you see at the back behind the inn, you see a massive sprawling graveyard with a tree that seems to sort of lean over the fence, pointing towards the castle. For the early evening decision, would you like to visit the blacksmith stables, the town hall, or the inn?
Options.
I lean towards the inn because I want to know where I'm going to sleep and I'm a little hungry in my tummy tums. What do you feel, guys?
I was thinking the blacksmith. Get a hold of some stakes, possibly fletch out some wooden arrows.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and we're already here.
Yeah.
This is true.
Yeah. I figured maybe I could speak with the blacksmith and he could point me in the right direction of Fletcher. And who knows, they might be willing to teach me how to do that on the road.
All right,
Yeah.
let's go check them out.
That
Maybe they'll have
sounds
some
good.
cool daggers for you, Anerin, where you can be all sneaky with them.
He might do. This is true. I will ask.
As you get off the cart, you hear the sound of an argument. It's a quite loud argument going on. Are you wanting to walk around and intervene, or are you wanting to just listen to the argument at the moment?
I wish to listen.
I will hide in the shadows and listen.
I will not hide, but I will listen before I intervene.
I'll walk up and fold my arms and just listen to both sides real fast, just see what I can determine.
As you look round, you see a very humble-looking man, a sort of youngish-looking man who looks like the blacksmith, sort of standing, arguing with a man in a long, very dirty-looking leather coat. And as you look in, you hear one of them go, "How many times? I'm doing you a favor. I am trying to kill your monster, but all you do is you get in my way, you give me this pish. What is this? I mean, look at it. What is this?" "Well, Bill, it's... My name is not Bill!" Well, all this is it's your arrows you asked for." "This is the same arrows I asked for 5 days ago."
and now they're magically more expensive. Why is this?
Well, I had to import silver, Bill.
My name is not Bill!
Well, I had to import silver like you asked to put on the tip of them.
You call this an arrow? Look at it, it's unbalanced. What is this?
Well, I'm not a weapon blacksmith, you know, I make tools, I don't make weapons.
That is not the point. You took my gold to make me weapons, and what is this you are selling me? This is cheap crap.
Excuse me, good sirs. I'm gonna stay hiding behind Feldora because I'm a little bit more scared of confrontation than my voice gives on, and I'll say, "What is your name?"
Huh?
Well, you keep seeking. This guy says your name's not Bill, and that. What's your name?
My name is Wilfred.
Okay. And I'm gonna take a step back.
You never told us that, Bill.
Oh, shut up!
Oh.
Wilfred, huh?
Yes,
Wilfred, what exactly, if you don't mind me asking?
Wilfred Barsh. Why?
Funny thing about that, you see, my compatriots and I are here to investigate why you have basically ceased all communication with your good friend.
What?
He's hired us to come here.
Who are you talking about?
The Guildmaster?
What?
About a half day's travel, the town over.
Why did they send you?
Because they haven't heard from you for some weeks.
3
What?
weeks, I believe.
It's not been that long. Oh, Jesus, it's been that long. Oh.
They tried sending letters.
What? You mean that
Yeah.
fat
Yep.
bitch didn't tell me I had mail?
You can't talk about
Apparently
Miss
they've been
Rosa like
sending
that.
it all
You
back.
shut up, I am not talking to you.
It sounds like they possibly returned
Have
them
amnesia.
by mistake.
These incompetent fuckwits.
Well, you can't call Miss Rosa that, Bill.
My name is not Bill, you pig.
Listen, meek little man, blacksmith. Stop calling him Bill. It's established. You're just gonna make him more upset. Did he tell you his name was Bill?
Well, no, all we've been told is that, Bill arrived here, and you just see this. He
Wilfred.
arrived here and he was
Calm
going
down,
to
buddy.
fix, the vampire problem.
Yeah, who told you his name was Bill?
Oh, Uwe did.
Alright, we'll talk to
Deluded
Uwe
old
later.
man.
Well, listen, Bill, don't get so upset. Wilfred
My
and Bill are
name
sort of like
is
the same
not
name.
Bill.
Yeah, but it's close, man. I mean, listen, most people call me Bert, and that really pisses me off for a long time, but then I had to get over it, because not everybody wants to say my whole name.
You don't understand what it's like living with these pigs.
Alright, that's fair. I've
They
never lived.
sing every morning.
It's just how we are, Bill. We're happy people.
Shut up! You have
All
no
right,
idea living
Wilfred.
with these people. They
Wilfred.
sing, they dance, they can't bother me when I'm trying to kill the vampire. Oh, Bill, my child wants your blessing. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm not a priest.
Why does a child want... Okay,
I
we'll ask
don't
the question
know.
first.
Someone, I expect, you deluded bastard of a councilman, has been telling people I'm some form of priest.
Huh. You don't sound like a priest.
Ugh.
I'm just wondering, is there a way that we could help you?
Just get out of my way. And you, fix these fucking arrows.
And he just walks past you and sort of trudges his way through the town square.
Well, guys, that Bill, he's a stick in the mud if I ever saw one.
He is very angry very easily.
I'm just kind of chuckling every time someone just mentions the name Bill. Just kind of little.
I like how
You're gonna get your ass into so much trouble. You keep calling him Bill.
Well,
Either one of
calling
you.
him Bill. I'm gonna keep calling him Bill.
Well,
I'm not gonna
help it.
protect you.
That's what Mr. Uwe told me he was called.
Yeah, who's Uwe?
Uwe's the councilman. Well, one of them. He's the old one.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's possible that Uwe made a mistake.
Oh, I don't think Mr. Uwe makes mistakes. He's quite, sure of himself.
Everybody can make mistakes.
Well,
Yeah,
you
I make
know,
mistakes
I mean,
all the time.
I mean, Bill's not really been that friendly to a lot of people for a while. Not since, you know, what happened to Mr. Goggins.
Oh,
What happened
dear.
to Mr. Goggins?
Bill shot him.
Oh. Well, that's unfortunate.
Not funny. I was just surprised.
Well,
Wait,
well,
why
you
did
see,
he shoot him?
well, it's a sort of diluted story, you see. Mrs. Goggins, she was walking one day and she said hello, Bill, and Bill yelled at her. Then Mr. Goggins said he ain't taking that from you, Bill. And then Bill went, shut up, you pig. And then Mr. Goggins said, right, that's it, I challenge you to a duel. And Bill went, you don't want to do that, I'll shoot you. Mr. Goggins said, I don't care. You know, you're not going to speak to my wife like that. And then Bill shot him in the face.
Oh, dear.
That's like, that went from 1 to 60 really fast. Is that normal? Do people duel a lot in this town?
Oh, no, not as far as I'm aware. No, it's the first one we've had in a long time. But, you see, Mr. Goggins, he was always an angry sort. Didn't like to take kindly to Bill.
Who is also an angry sort.
Angry
it
sort.
seems.
Well, you know, after the fight with Miss Sartarosa and he got kicked out of the inn, he's been even grumpier.
Oh, dear.
So all that did was add fuel to the fire.
Well, he's been sleeping in some tree, I think, because he ain't been sleeping at the inn anymore and no one will take him in. Because Miss Sartarosa, she had to kick him out after he wouldn't pay his bill.
He wouldn't pay his bill. He doesn't want people to call him Bill. This guy's a mess.
Well, he's very angry. He's been getting even angrier recently, you know, after the children started singing songs about him.
Oh, dear. But if he's that grumpy with everybody, I suppose that's inevitable.
Well, you see, it wasn't helped by the fact that, you know, Mrs. Goggins, she works with the children as a teacher. She was been teaching them songs. And they ain't the nicest songs. And they like to sing it outside the tree that Bill's in all the time, pointing at that castle. And he don't like that.
Which tree is he staying in?
Oh, he sits in that tree over there, and he points to the tree, sort of hunches over the graveyard, like pointing towards the castle. He sits in that tree all the time, every night, up there. And the children, they like to dance around the bottom of the tree, singing how he's a bird. Bill don't like that.
Okay,
I shouldn't laugh.
it's an important note. I'm gonna take a mental note of that. Let's call him a bird later.
No, he don't like being called no bird, does Bill. Very angry. You know, he punched Ernst's wife the other day.
Oh, dear. He seems very violent.
Has he been hunting vampires at all, or has he just been getting into fights with people
Well, he
around
keeps
town?
telling everyone that it's her fault he's not been killing the vampire, but I don't think he does very well. I mean, every time he tries to shoot the vampire, he seems to miss. And then he tells us it's because one of us came up and talked to him. I mean, we're just trying to be friendly.
Town people have seen him take shots at this vampire?
Well, you know, a couple of times he's been shooting at it, yeah, but usually he blames Melchizedek for it.
Huh.
I mean, all he's trying to do is make sure Bill's alright. He's one of the few people in this village who still cares. But every time Melchizedek asks him if he's alright, Bill gets very angry at him.
I'm sorry, could you say this fella's name again?
It's Melchizedek.
Where would we find him?
Oh, he's the gravekeeper.
Oh. Oh, he's just
You
trying
literally
to
see
hang
the
out.
my tabaxi fell. He's literally going, mouthing the name. How is that again? Try that one more time.
It's Melchizedek.
And it's Gravekeeper, got it.
Melchizedek.
Melchizedek.
Melchizedek. Oh.
Yeah, the cat keeps putting it TH at the end of it, Melchizedek or something. It's like, okay, Gravedigger, got it.
I'm gonna call him Melk. Melky. We'll meet Melky later. I'm sorry, Blacksmith, I didn't catch your name.
Oh, I'm Ferdinand.
Oh, I love that name.
See, that's a name I can actually pronounce.
Alright, Ferdinand, do you mind if I talk to my companions separately for a second?
Oh, that's fine. You go on there. I'm only packing up for the night.
Oh, before you go, could you do me one huge favor?
What's that?
Is there anyone in town who might be a Fletcher or is really skilled at making arrows?
Oh, no. I mean, I've been trying, but, I'm not a Fletcher, no. I'm only really used to making, shovels and that.
Well,
Until recently, I had no reason to make any weapons, not till Bill arrived.
yeah, you're going to be skilled at the things that people need, and they need you to make.
Huh.
That seems reasonable.
Yeah. Have you made small shovels?
Oh, I can make you a trowel, no problem.
Okay, I may end up getting one of those later on.
Oh, that's fine. You just tell me when you want it.
Okay, can you make it able to fold up, make it, a little more compact?
Oh, well, that will be a bit interesting. I'll see what I can do in the morning.
Alright, fair enough.
So, what are you gonna do now?
I want to talk to my friends separately from this little old man. All right, Feldora, Anerin.
Yes.
What is going on here? This vampire hunter is just a grumpy old man. He's not doing anything. It sounds like he's just sitting around town shooting into the dark, yelling at people.
On the other hand, I tend to get testy when I'm distracted from my prey. I could understand where this fellow was coming from. If he happened to see it and, someone happened to distract him at that critical moment of shoot, and then you have to readjust yourself so you don't accidentally hit someone else in the face, that would make me a little angry as well, so I kind of understand where he's coming from. I didn't see if he was using an arrow or a crossbow, but I know it's difficult if you're using a bow. You have to readjust the way your body moves and where you're aiming it at versus a crossbow. Crossbow is just pretty much point and shoot.
I've never used either.
I suppose it depends on distance as well. In
Also
fairness,
Yeah,
3-4 weeks for looking for a single piece of prey, that could be very frustrating.
Oh yes. Plus, you have to also factor in the windy conditions. If it's been slightly windy, that could throw your arrow or bolt off just a hair, and that could be all it means between hit the creature and kill it, or hit it and then you just piss him off.
This is true. And I would expect vampires to be fairly careful, and surely it will know by now that there's someone trying to shoot it. No, I thought they were supposed to be intelligent.
Just because they're intelligent doesn't mean they're not vengeful. Oh, you shot at me. I'm coming back for you now. I must kill you to keep me alive.
But it hasn't done that.
Not to say it hasn't tried.
I don't think it has, because the old Billy Bob, Wilfred, he did not mention any encounter with it other than missing shots at it.
That's true. But
That is true.
I wonder how much his pride is getting in the way of us getting the full picture of what's going on here. I just felt a lot of arrogance in his anger.
yes. Well, I don't think the blacksmith knows anything else. So we either ask Wilfred for more information, or we see if we can find anyone else that tell us what's going on.
Yeah, I think we should do both. And I think I will try really hard to call him Wilfred when we talk to him so he doesn't get upset.
Yeah, that might be for your benefit.
I'm just used to nicknames.
Yeah.
I'm just used
Because
to
I guarantee you, you start calling him Bill and he gets pissed off at you, I'm not going to protect you, buddy. I'm going to step off to the side and let you get your, just desserts.
Please don't get yourself shot. That would be very messy.
I don't think I will. All right, so where do you guys want to go next? We have a whole little town we could explore.
At this point, can everyone do me an awareness check, please?
Yes, sir.
Alrighty.
Ooh.
I did not do very well.
All I have is my awareness. Ooh,
Okay, I also got an 18.
Nice.
Flora and Bertrahm notice that there's a strange sound coming from the horses, and as you look round, you see a quite thin figure holding a bucket in one hand and looking at the horses with a sort of hunger look in his eyes. And as he notices you, he goes, drops the bucket and runs as full speed he can towards the castle.
Oh,
Run after him.
Yeah, we're chasing.
I'm running after him. If that means I have to drop down to all fours and sprint, I'm going to catch him.
Okay.
as they race off, I realise that, something's happening. Oh, I wonder what's in the bucket. I go over and have a look.
Okay. The skeletal figure runs through the door of the castle, pushing it open and slamming it shut behind him. You hear the sound of about 18 locks being slid across from the other side of the door, and the sound of from the other side of the door.
Let's see. I'm fairly strong. I don't think I'm, quite strong enough to break all the locks, but I do want to give him a start. So I want to try and run as fast as I can, as hard as I can, and then plant my feet on the door and just give it a good kick.
Okay.
And then bounce off real quick.
As you run up to the castle door, you notice outside the castle there's hundreds and hundreds of wooden crucifixes and many other religious symbols being knocked into the dirt in front of it, and there's a couple of other buckets just lying discarded by the side of the door. You bounce and kick off the door. You hear inside go, "Ah!" And the sound of the breathing just continues to get heavier and heavier. The bucket you look at, Anerin, seems to have a layer of very dried, flaked blood at the bottom.
Oh, can I look at the horses?
You can, yes. The horses are very obviously quite angered and stuff, and you notice one of them seems to have been tied quite strongly with its head down so it can't buck. At this point, the blacksmith sort of runs around the corner and goes, "What's going on?"
I don't know. We were standing there and my companions just ran off in that direction, and I point over towards the castle, and somebody dropped a bucket.
He's a bastard vampire back again. You're not gonna get any of my royal horses, you bastard.
Has the vampire been going for horse blood?
Oh, he's been doing worse than that. He's been doing things to them horses.
Oh dear.
He puts a cloak over their head and then, does weird things. And the horses are very unhappy every time you try and speak to them. You come near them and they won't let anyone near them after that. Very, very violent, and they've got this sort of tooth mark on their neck.
Oh dear. Well, there doesn't seem to be any tooth mark on this horse, I think. Can I see if there's any, active marks on the horse?
Do me an animal handling roll first of all to see if the horse lets you near it.
Fair.
Yeah, the horse is angry, but it's letting you near enough to it. Now do me a nature roll to see if you can see any wounds in the horse. You don't see any wounds in the horse. The blacksmith sort of goes, "That one? Oh, that one's definitely been got. Look at his neck there." And he points and you can see a sort of half-inch wide wound on the side of the horse's neck.
A half-inch wide?
Yeah, it's about half-inch wide.
That's awfully big for a tooth mark, is it not?
Well, that's a very vicious vamp. Don't know how it don't bite with both teeth. Maybe it's got one missing, we're not really sure. All we know is he keeps biting them bastard horses.
And then fills up a bucket?
Well, we don't know what the bucket's for. We've not seen him leave with one before. Maybe he just needs it to stand on, I don't know.
It's very unusual. Could I have a closer look at the cut, or the bite, now that the blacksmith has pointed it out?
We can do a nature roll. It does look like quite a large tooth bite. As in it seems to sort of narrow to a point.
He must have very big teeth.
Oh, vampires do, the bastards.
Dear. Well, I guess I better try and follow my companions.
Okay.
When you show up, I'm just shooting lightning at the sky, trying to make intimidating noises, following Feldora's lead in front of the castle.
Okay.
Oh, hey! Anerin! We found this castle! We couldn't get it.
Oh!
Creepy dude
This
ran.
is big!
Yeah, look at all the crosses on the ground, too. Super weird.
Yeah, there was a person fleeing. We saw him drop the bucket, and he ran this direction. And I was very intent on chasing this thing, this person, whatever, vampire, I don't know. But he fled, and I gave chase. Game of cat and mouse, you might say. So he closed the door, and I did a nice little kick off of the door to scare him a bit, because I heard him on the other side just before I made contact. He was breathing real heavy. And then I kicked it, and then he made a little squeal sound, and it was very satisfying. Sounds there with a little smirk on his face.
Feldora, you're making me think of something. Now, this may be silly. This may be a goof and a gaff, but do vampires breathe? I just don't know. I thought they were undead, and in my imagination, I've only ever seen one undead, and it was a zombie, and it wasn't breathing. Because I heard breathing too, and I was not even right against the door. I was like a little bit away. Something was breathing hard.
Yeah, and it sounded awful scared when I kicked the door, like, vampires shouldn't be afraid.
I mean, somebody kicking a door is scary no matter what you are.
Yeah, but if you're fleeing the scene, you're guilty of something. But vampires, I would think, would be a little more, oh, this is a trap. You kick the door in, and then, you know, one of us is gone, and then it's a trap. I didn't think of it at the time, but now you're bringing thoughts to my head, so...
Well, it was really strange because the bucket had dried blood in it.
Wait a minute. Like at the bottom or on the outside?
On the edges of it. Like dried, old blood.
Like they were pouring it into it.
Yeah. And one of the horses had their head tethered and there was a single bite mark, not two. And the blacksmith, Ferdinand, said that there was only ever one mark, not two.
Yeah, that's weird too.
That is very strange.
Guys, I don't think we're dealing with a vampire.
Maybe not. Perhaps we should regroup and try to figure this out later.
What time is it right now, currently, in the eve?
It's getting closer to midnight.
Okay.
Okay. Close to bedtime.
Yep.
Art looks around to see if he could see Wilfred hanging out in a tree close by.
You've noticed Wilfred has gone into the graveyard and has climbed into the tree, and it seems to be sitting now watching you all kind of like stand in front of the castle. You can see that he's sort of making gestures of just, oh, for fuck's sake.
Are there any other high places that have coverage, like another tree around somewhere where I can see on like the opposite side of the graveyard?
None that have seemed to have got as good coverage as the one he's in, no.
What about rooms that have windows that point in that direction? Like an inn or something?
The inn has a couple of rooms, but there's only seems to be one room with windows that point this way, and it seems to be boarded up from the inside, so doesn't seem like it could be an option.
Points to the window. Hey, maybe we should try to see if we can get into that room right there. Because if nothing else, I would like to be able to peek out every so often and see what's going on in the graveyard.
Okay.
Even if you guys don't want to, shack up with me, that's fine. I don't mind.
It's fine. I'm used to sleeping with like 35 people in a room.
I'll be in a corner. Just don't come too close to me.
Fair enough. Throw a thing towards you and call it good. Gotcha. Thinks for a moment. Do I have anything I can actually toss at her without drawing attention? I'll work on that later. You see the look on his face like he's physically thinking.
Do we know what building that window is connected to that Feldora pointed out to us?
It's definitely the inn.
Okay, cool.
As that time slot ends and your next options come up, your choice is stay at the castle, go to the inn, or go to the graveyard.
What do you think, guys? Go to the inn or to the graveyard? I mean, I'm up for either one. That nice little race kind of got my heart pumping.
Yeah, I'm up for either also.
Well, the graveyard will have Wilfred, I think. And I wouldn't think that the grave digger would be there at night. That would be a little bit weird.
So we could definitely talk to Wilfred if we want to. And if we go to the inn, we might find a couple late night boozers that we could hang out with in the town. Maybe some folks we haven't met yet.
Didn't Ferdinand say that Wilfred got thrown out of the inn?
I think so. I thought he got thrown out everywhere.
Well,
he got thrown out of the room. Oh, I wonder if that means the window that is boarded up might be the window he got thrown out of.
Oh, Feldora, you are a sharp mind. I feel like maybe the inn might be the place to go because the only thing that I want to say to Wilfred is that I don't think he's hunting a vampire, and I also don't think he's going to be super receptive to that right now, as I'm shooting lightning bolts and being a dingus in front of the castle.
Word to the wise. You might need to stop and reserve your magical energy for later.
Oh, this is just sparks. It's all for show.
Okay. So, to the inn, everybody?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, to the inn we go.
So you head down from the castle towards the inn, and as you head inside, you see quite a large woman who looks very much like definition of a sort of rustic charm working behind the bar. To the left, there is Ferdinand from before with the sort of older man in the sort of very kind of filthy clothes. Two of them seem to be sharing a drink. And to the other side, there seems to be a couple of other patrons just sitting around, but most of them just seem to be keeping to themselves. So, as you walk in, the barmaid turns to you, and she goes, "Hello there. Don't rightly recognise you. Where are you from, then?"
Oh, hello. We're passing through town.
Alright, well, you needing lodgings for the night?
Yeah, I was curious. I happened to notice a window that had been boarded up from the outside. What's wrong with that?
Oh, that'll be Brumilda's room.
Oh, because I didn't know if that room was for rent.
Oh, no,
Because it happened...
That's Brumilda's room. Well, I suppose you can rent her. I mean, that's why she's here, of course, but, not many people seem to want to go in that room. They only really want to go in once, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, understood.
Oh.
Well then, what do you have to drink?
Well, we've got, the usual ale. We've got a bit of cider left and some elderberry wine.
Oh, I'll have a cider.
Wine sounds fine.
Okay, so you get yourself some drinks. You get yourself some food as well if you want it. It's just standard sort of inn food. And you get yourself a proper meal down. And she goes, So where are you passing on to then? Where are you off to?
Oh,
just
we are
wherever the road
world
makes us.
Fair
travelers.
enough, that.
We're folks of mystery and intrigue.
Alright, so you are here for Brumilda then?
I'm just here for
Is-
fights.
Is there an
Alright.
intrigue with her?
Well, we've been having a lot of very queer dressed folk come in, looking for Brumilda. Usually they've got a lot of finery on them and they're from some guild in the town.
Oh,
Yeah, they do a
That
long journey to
sounds
come here
unusual.
for some reason. We're not really sure why, but, clients is clients.
When you say they're from the guild in the town, what town?
Oh, some other cities around. We've had several villagers, actually. They seem to all come here with their sort of finery on. They sit there with really, strange accents and eventually say they're looking for Brumilda. She comes
Barkeep.
through, they hand me a big bag of gold. I look at it and say, "Is this what you want to pay?" And Brumilda nods. And then she takes them upstairs. And they
Oh.
come down with their eyes, that saucer-like.
ooh. It must be something impressive for
She must have
folks
a very
travel-
cool magic trick or something.
Or it's very frightening.
That's a lot of
Has-
gold to play for something frightening, though. Big bag of gold.
You'd be
Has
surprised.
you must know what it is though, if she's
Oh,
working here.
I don't know what it is she does, but she brings in a lot of business. That's all I care about.
Gold
Wait,
is
why is
gold.
her
It's
window
expensive.
boarded up?
Oh, that was her own request. Well, I say request, Once I gave her the room, she sort of disappeared one day, and the next day she came back with some boards and did all that herself.
Well, I
When
suppose
when she brings in the amount of gold she does, I don't bother questioning it.
Fascinating. Can you describe what she looks like to us, please?
Oh, she's about yay high. She sort of puts her hand up about 2 foot above her head and goes about yay high. Strapping lass,
Hmm.
Is she around tonight?
Oh, she's around somewhere. Think she's out back chopping wood.
Okay.
Remind us, who else is in the bar?
Ferdinand, a sort of another old man drinking with Ferdinand, and then there's a couple of locals that are scattered around everywhere.
Cool.
Has Ferdinand acknowledged us since we came in?
He just sort of went, huh. And he came in and then went back to his conversation.
Okay.
Barkeep, when did she come to town?
Oh, when did Brumilda come? About 4 4 months ago, something like that.
A little while ago.
Oh, aye, she's been here a long time. Well, better than me having to make Astrid do it. I mean, the poor girl went upstairs with one man, burst into tears in front of him. You never seen a man come downstairs with his, ego that deflated.
Oh dear. That sounds very unpleasant
She's a
for them
simple girl,
both.
was Astrid. You can't ask things of her to do that. I mean, she's not like me. I mean, by the time I was her age, I had at least 3. She gets
Well,
it from her father, He's a sort of careful sort. Emotional,
oh, I see. Sorry, who is her father?
Oh, we don't talk about that bastard anymore. He's long gone.
Oh, okay. As we came into town, there seemed to be an argument going on.
Oh? Who's that then?
It was Ferdinand and Wilfred
Who? Ferdinand and
Bill.
who?
and Bill.
Oh, that bastard. What's he been doing now? Has he been yelling at the children again?
No, he was yelling at Ferdinand.
Oh, he been yelling at you, Ferdinand? Well, yeah, he's been yelling a lot at me today. Oh, you don't worry about your drinks tonight then. They're on the house. That bastard Bill ain't getting to you.
Oh, that's good. That's very kind of you. Has Bill ever spent any time with Brunhilde?
Oh, no. Bill ain't into that kind of thing. Bill was only here for a few days, and once I told him he had to pay for his room, he wouldn't do anything. Told me to ram it up my arse. Told him I don't do that for less than 57 gold.
That's a
Wow.
fair
Fair
price.
price.
Sounds reasonable?
But Bill is still in town. He's just living in the tree.
Oh, I know he's still here, because he's not done that bastard job he was brought in to do.
Yeah.
Who was it that brought him in?
Well, it was the council that brought him in, because Jacob insisted we brought him in. He said it was very important. And then as soon as he arrived at Mr. Uva, he was very happy about it. Started telling us all that our answers were coming.
Oh, that sounds like a lot of pressure to put on one travelling
Well,
tradesman, I
every time I
guess.
spoke to Ernst about it, Ernst don't like him very much. He don't think we should have had him in the first place. But Jacob insisted. Something about religious something or other.
It seems like people thought he was a priest.
A what?
We talked to Bill, and he was upset that people were confusing him for a priest of some sort.
Oh, well, that would be Mr. Uve. He told people when Bill arrived that Bill was some sort of holy man. And everyone, we've not seen an holy man in a long time. Everyone was like, oh, maybe we'll, confess a couple of sins and get it off our shoulders. Bill didn't like that. Don't like anyone sharing anything with him.
After very briefly meeting him, I imagine he got quite abusive.
Oh, he weren't too bad till we kicked him out of the inn. Then after we kicked him out, he started complaining about his watch. Now I'm like, I've not seen this bastard watch you're talking about, and you had it was left in here I threw outside. The bloody crows have got it. It's your fault for leaving it here.
I see.
Once I heard that he'd been ejected out of this fine establishment, we happened to be on the backside, and I happened to look up and see the boarded window, and I thought perhaps that's the window he got through out of.
Oh no. We just told him to leave. Because he arrived and he was like, the town council were paying, and now that the town council were not paying, I've spoke to Ernst. Ernst is not paying for your lodgings. That's to come out of your pocket. And he didn't listen to me. He told me he's had a conversation and he's been told his room's paid for. And when I told him that's not what I've been told, he threw a big fit. Very angry. Started telling me that he's been in finer places in his life. I knew he wasn't going to pay that for this dig. So I told him, well, we can go and sleep outside then, Bill. He didn't like that. Very angry. He started throwing stuff.
Oh dear.
Well, how much are your rooms for rent?
Oh, they're not that much. Only about 2 gold a night.
Okay.
Is the room with the window that overlooks the graveyard and the castle, is that room available?
No, that's Brumilda's room.
Oh, excuse me. I got my geography crossed.
Yeah, that's what you got crossed. Gives him a snide little look over his, kind of over his shoulder a little bit, looking down on him, probably.
Anerin rolls her eyes.
Well,
let's get some rooms.
Okay, here's another idea. Should we just find rooms for the night? Or do we try and see if we can talk with Brumilda for a moment?
I think that's worthwhile. I think we can do both. I'm certainly curious why she thinks her room needs to be boarded up. And I'm curious what mysterious magic tricks or things she has that people are coming from around, seems like towns and cities across the land to pay good money for. Maybe she's a really good impressionist.
Well,
Yeah, sure. Let's go with that.
the thing you gotta know about Brumilda is she's a mute.
Oh.
Oh.
She don't talk.
Is she literate?
Oh, don't know. Never actually
People
tried
don't need
that.
to be literate. That doesn't matter. That's like totally an irrelevant point.
If she can't
Wow.
talk, at least she can write.
Oh, she sort of gestures.
I like gestures.
And then she
Gestures
sort
are
of
cool.
grunts, like And you go,
Well-
is that a yes, or a no, And then she just grunts again, and you just gotta go with it.
Just like nod your head yes, shake your head for no. Grunt is a maybe.
Well-
Understood? Shakes head.
We can try. We can try writing her something, I guess. If
Yeah.
one of your writing is easy to read. Mine is very scratchy.
Yeah, mine's quite awful.
I think we should try to communicate with her in gestures.
Okay then.
Well, if you're wanting to talk to Brumilda, she's out back, and she gestures to the door behind her.
Okay.
Let's go.
We'll be back shortly for some rooms if that's alright.
Oh, that's fine then. I'll just go and send Astrid up to sort them out for you while you go and talk to Brumilda.
Alright,
Thank you.
thank you.
Okay, so what are you gonna do?
Let's go around back and talk and see if Brumilda's around. If we can talk to her.
Okay. You walk through the door, you immediately see this 9-foot tall Amazonian woman literally chopping up huge chunks of wood with a massive axe. And she
Ooh.
sort of slices them in half, just sets them up and starts chopping again. It's completely effortless for her.
Well, at least she knows her way around an axe.
Hello there.
She
Hello.
stops, looks at you and goes, and then carries on with her chopping.
I wave in a friendly fashion.
She doesn't seem to make much more eye contact, she just seems to be focused on what she's doing.
Excuse me, could you show us your magic trick?
Sort of tilts her head at you, really confused.
Forgive my compatriot. He's, what's the word?
Brilliant.
I'm gonna go with the moron. He's very curious. Yeah, that's it. Curious.
She sort of tilts her head the other way at you.
He's heard of your,
Fame.
thing that you do that, people come from all over and pay good money for. Whatever
Yeah.
that may be.
Exactly. Here, I have this thing I can do, and you guys watch as I sort of throw out my hand, and a spectral hand emerges from mine and goes to her wood pile and picks up a piece of wood and puts it down on the chopping block for her. So that's
Yeah.
my magic trick.
She just sort of watches you do this with a sort of slight baffled amusement. Kind of like a dog would, and she keeps tilting its head side to side as it's going on. Then she just turns to you and goes, and she holds up one hand, and it's thumb and the next 3 fingers up, and she points to the midpoint of her 4th finger, and then she holds up her other hand and holds up 3 fingers, and then picks up her axe again and starts chopping wood.
Now, my character just kind of tilts his head in complete bewilderment, goes, okay. Pushes the little guy in front of her.
Is that
Just
how
to the left
much,
of her. Go ahead,
would
go
that
ahead.
be how much gold? I mean, she makes her living here by selling access to her magic trick. Could that be
Yeah.
the amount of gold?
That's a good possibility.
So, would that be 35, 38?
I think so.
Could
Here's the deal, Broomhilda. I'm not interested in your magic trick if it involves anything a little bit too... What's the word I'm looking for? Hanky-panky. It's not really my thing.
She just sort of goes and shrugs.
Okay. This is gonna be some pretty fucking cool magic trick, I think, guys.
Go get her,
Wasting
Tiger.
our time.
So, just Reed's like, yeah, just grabs him, pushes him on the back. Go get her, Tiger.
Okay, well, we got some money.
I have 38 gold.
If you wish to spend it, then I'm sure you will have a wonderful time.
I feel like I don't know what's going to happen to me if I go into a room with her and the door's closed and I can't yell for help from you guys. And she's really big and could just smush me into 1,000 pieces if she wanted to. So I'm hesitant.
But no previous customers have been smushed to pieces.
Yeah, but I think they know what they're getting in for, what they're getting, what they're getting involved with. All I know is it's a mystery. Oh, but I do love a good mystery. All right, I'll take out 38 gold and I'll give it to her.
Okay. You offer the gold. She seems to very quickly check it, shrugs, walks back inside, and you hear a, "Oh, they're taking it, are they? All right, well, was that the payment? All right then, well, you have fun up there." And she walks back, looks at you again, goes, then picks you up, puts you over her shoulder, and just carries you up the stairs.
All right, I try to maintain my balance.
The rest of you hear the room slam shut, and you hear very strange sounds within. Just 1 second, I just need to copy this to you. Let me just...
Hey, what do you think we climb up to the top of the roof and see we can hear anything interesting?
Yeah, let's see if they've got any gossip. I'm sure they must.
Oh yeah. Just prowl around on the rooftop of the inn, see if we can hear anything interesting.
Yeah, definitely. So we're going to go sneaking.
Okay, so you sort of climb up best you can to try and hear anything. All you hear is the sound of scraping.
Is it coming in from the direction of Brumilda's room?
It is coming from the direction of Brumilda's room, yes.
Can't help but to snicker a bit. It's like, I give you 3 guesses what's going on in there.
I'll be quite content to not think about it. I just hope that Bertrahm is getting his money's worth.
I'm pretty sure he is. That's pretty much how he sounded. Just, laughs. He can't help it. Oh, I'm sure he is.
As long as he's happy.
So
Yeah, I come out giddy as a schoolgirl.
about half an hour later, the door opens. Brumhilda carries Bertrahm down the stairs and sits him at one of the tables. His eyes are wide as saucers. His clothing doesn't look at all ruffled, but he just looks like he's seeing through space at this exact point. When you try and talk to him, he's completely non-responsive.
Oh boy.
What? I go over to the landlady. Is he supposed to be like that?
Oh, they all come out like that.
Will he snap out of it anytime soon?
Well, the best thing I've found to do with them is to leave them in the water butt outside. Doesn't seem to make
Fair
them
enough.
way away.
Fair enough. Walks over there, picks him up, and does exactly that. Puts him in the water barrel out there.
Oh, it's a bit cold for that right now, but if you think you'll survive, go ahead.
I think he'll be okay. Dumps him in there head first for a couple seconds and then picks it back up.
He's still just space and non-responsive, but he's now dripping wet.
Oh,
Okay.
Let's sit him near the fire. He'll hopefully come round soon.
Well, I tried. I was just about to put him, completely in there with his head bobbing out and leave him there overnight, but, I'm not that mean all the time.
He's kind of scrawny. That might kill him. Don't do that.
Okay.
Eventually, you all decide to head upstairs to bed. You arrange with the barmaid to have Bertrahm taken up to a room and make sure he doesn't just pass out. The next morning, all of you awaken, and I'll tell you the choices in a second, but Bertrahm is a lot more conscious, but is still kind of like about 8 seconds behind himself, if you know what I mean.
Oh.
So your choices for the next place is the castle, the blacksmith stables, the town hall, staying at the inn, which is, not really much is happening apart from Zartarosa just tidying up, and the town square, which does seem to have a sort of hubbub. So, what do you want to do?
Well, I need to go to the blacksmith because I was trying to see if Ferdinand's going to make me a folding shovel.
I want to get breakfast.
Okay, we eat breakfast first. Fair enough.
Yeah, he's assumed to have eaten before you decide where you're going.
Okay. Anybody else? Am I the only one?
I'm just taking a minute to think about it. I think that we should go to the spooky, spooky graveyard. I know,
Okay.
spooky,
It's very early morning at this point.
but it's very early morning at this point, and it's probably less spooky than it normally would be.
If there's a vampire, surely early morning would be the safest time to be, like, moving around.
Investigating.
Yes, investigating.
You
Could we
do make a good
perhaps
point.
stop by the blacksmith on the way to see if they have finished your instrument?
You would probably have to go to the blacksmith to see if the instrument is ready.
Well, friends, listen, Feldora, we've only been traveling together for a little while, but I got your back, man. So if that's what you want to do first, I'm happy to go. I'm happy to go see if your new contraption's ready. But I do think that the graveyard, that's the spot to check out. If not now, then later.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I wasn't going to spend like all day at the blacksmith. Just swing by and see if it's ready yet. If it is, hey, that's great. Pay up the gold. If it ain't, then we turn around and head back to the graveyard.
Out of character, as the player, I think that we have to pick a spot and commit to it for the time frame.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
we
if
do.
if we do go to the blacksmith now, we're there for that chunk of early morning.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Also out of character, I'm fine with that. So if you want to do that, I'm super down. But also,
Nah, the blacksmith will probably be there later on during the day anyway. It'll be a better idea to go early in the morning.
all right, cool. Yeah,
All right.
check out that spooky graveyard.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
I want to see what's going on out there.
Okay, you leave the inn and you pass through the sort of relatively busy town square and you come into the quite deserted looking graveyard. At this point you see in front of you the massive tree that Bill seems to be sitting in to look at the castle all day. You notice that every single one of the graves in the graveyard seems to be covered in a thick layer of what looks like small growing herbs. And you notice that between every single grave there seems to be trellising, and it's like vegetables are growing in every single space. What do you do?
Stand back, Feldora. There's a lot of vegetables here.
Haha, asshole, very funny.
I'm trying to protect my friend. I apologize. I need to take a step back.
Okay.
Do I see anything weird about any of the gravestones or about the tree?
No.
Does anything stand out to me as unusual or different than what one might expect to see?
Although they are, as I said, covered in growing vegetables everywhere, every single space of grave, including all the grave soil, is covered in this thick layer of green growing herbs. Doesn't seem to be anything much out of place.
Is Wilfred in the tree?
Nope.
Ooh, is there any visible places where he might have left tracks?
You see sort of footprints going through some of the graves and through some of the herbs leading towards the tree and back again, but there's so many of them you couldn't tell which one's recent and which ones aren't.
Could I try and roll a tracking to see if I can narrow it down?
You can try, yes.
Alright.
Natural 1. You follow a trail round in circles round the tree a few times, and eventually, after about 5 minutes, you realise you've been following your own footprints.
Oh, wait. Those have claws. Those are my feet. Damn it. Oops.
So you have now walked over the footprints enough that you can't determine which is new and which isn't, because they've all got your own prints over them.
Damn.
I'm gonna pick some of these vegetables.
Okay. What do you
Isn't
want?
there meant to be a gravekeeper? Is there any sign of them?
Nope. What do you want to do with the vegetables?
I want to give them a smell, see how they smell. If they smell like something edible, I'm gonna take a bite out of one of them.
Yeah, they smell just like your typical growing vegetables.
I'm gonna take a big old bite.
There's lots of different types of vegetables here. It's every single possible square foot of space that could use to grow something is growing something.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna take a nibble, see if it tastes like normal food,
Okay.
not something weird.
Do me a roll. It tastes like quite nice food. It tastes like the soil must be quite fertile.
This graveyard has some pretty good stuff growing in it. Pretty good indeed. Do you guys see where the gravekeeper's house is? I guess he doesn't live on the site.
No, he doesn't live on the graveyard now.
I imagine that would be a little unsettling.
I suppose. Although he's got all his fruits and veggies right outside.
True?
I'm gonna laugh if that happens to be Wilfred's fruits and veggies out there. He'll be pissed.
He's not gonna notice I took a little bite. There's a mouth. Look at all these vegetables, Feldora. As far as the eye can see, vegetables. There's more life than death in this graveyard.
That seems fitting. Circle of life, and if you can eat vegetables.
Just be wary because, you never know if you're going to bite into a worm or something. Centipede, those are bad. And they taste funky too. Ugh.
Yeah, they are not good protein.
Yeah.
So, walking around the graveyard, none of the ground looks messed with. It's all very, firm and in place with things growing over it. There's no loose dirt.
It looks like you can't even read the graves for how much plants are growing in front of them.
What happens if somebody dies in town tomorrow? Do they have to, scrape all these vegetables up and dig a hole?
That's a good question. Maybe we should find the gravekeeper and ask him. Or her.
I thought they'd be here.
Well,
Old
there's
Melky.
a lot of deaths.
Melky the gravekeeper.
Memory is better than mine. I couldn't remember that one's name to save my life. Or yours.
I got your back.
I promise nothing.
All right, so listen, friends, because we're here. It's a little bit of a walk to go anywhere else. Is there anything we want to check out while we're still in the graveyard before we decide to just vamoose out of here?
I'm still quite curious.
I want to see what Wilfred sees from that tree.
Oh, that's a good idea.
So, is Wilfred at the tree at the moment?
No.
Okay. While we wait for him, what did you see with Broomhilda?
It was unlike anything I've ever experienced. I don't really have the words for it.
Ooh.
Do you have the magic for it?
Let me see. And I go to cast my spectral hand. Is there any different? Is it any changed than it was before? Is there anything different about it?
No.
I guess not. I guess not, guys. I still can do that, and I start picking up some vegetables with it. I don't have the words for it.
Maybe we should get you something to read to give you the words for it.
Feldora, we've been over this on our last adventure.
Oh, that's right.
And then I lean down and sort of shamefully cover my face with my hand.
That's right. I'm sorry.
I don't know all my letters yet, man. You know that.
You have difficulty writing them because it's kind of a pain trying to draw with my claws.
Yeah, that's true. I can't even imagine. That's why I usually draw with a stick. But I just like drawing pictures.
Well, in fairness, most of the people we talk to can't read or write. So
Yay!
we're doing pretty well.
Feldora, do you want to go see what's going up? I think that was a really good idea, to see what Billy Bob sees from that tree.
You can climb the tree and have a look if you want.
Yeah, I'm gonna climb the tree.
Okay. You climb up the tree, you find the sort of cover blanket that seems to be up there. And the sort of area where someone would sit and sort of rest a crossbow. So you sort of notice a sort of notch carved in the tree where someone's obviously had a sort of crossbow rested, pointing towards the castle.
Looks out toward the castle, see what I can see.
Okay, you just see the front door of the castle, like where you were before, where you chased the scrawny individual. Seems to be a very good place to sit and watch that door.
Okay. How high up in the tree am I?
You're about 3 meters up. So you're high enough that you can look over this fence in the building. And you're about, if you were to take a shot, you'd be almost level with how raised the castle is.
Oh, wow. So pretty good way up there.
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to come down and I'm going to report to what I saw. Well, he's got a really good vantage point up there. I can tell he's had a blanket up there and looks like he's carved out a place where he can rest a crossbow. Really, really good vantage point. And he can just stretch out there and kind of relax his legs and just hang out and have the crossbow pointed in that direction. If he happens to open his eyes and see a thing, he can shoot. And it's a direct shot that direction. I mean, it's perfect little clearing area down there, and it's really good spot. I give him points for creativity and good vantage point right there. Otherwise, it's just, a really good spot, and that's about it.
It's very strange that he's not managed to get his shot then.
Yeah, he might have fallen asleep at the wrong time and missed this chance.
Did Ferdinand not say that when somebody spoke to him, it ended up in a duel?
Yeah, he did.
You're right.
I feel like I overheard the barkeep saying that he lost something. He thought some people from the town stole something from him. Yeah, I thought he said a watch. I think there's more going on here than, I don't know. I mean, Feldora, you're not even really a marksman. I feel like you could make that shot pretty easily. I mean, I know you are a very capable marksman, but that's not even your bread and butter.
It's really not. I use it mainly for hunting.
But don't you think you could make that shot? If you were
let's go up there
firing
and try
at
it.
the door?
Well, I'm gonna go up there and try it out.
All right.
Goes up there and knocks an arrow into the bow and gives a shot close to the door. Probably somewhere where it's sticking to the ground.
Okay, roll. You make the shot, your arrow does veer quite wildly to one side, and you do miss the building, and it goes slightly wide. And the shot's not as easy as you initially thought it was.
What's the wind like? Is it a small breeze?
You would have thought the wind wouldn't matter as much. Like, you can't really feel much wind, but considering how far your arrow went off course, there must be a lot more wind than you thought.
I'm gonna try it again. Put my finger in my mouth and then test the wind real quick.
Yep, sure.
Get my fur a little wet.
Sure.
And then roll again.
Roll again, so there you go. Yep, you managed to shoot an arrow. It thuds really loudly into the door of the castle, and you notice it sitting pointing straight as a dart into the door.
Okay. Puts away my bow and arrows and climbs back down.
So this guy must have had at least a couple attempts, right?
Yeah. I mean, I shot once, not thinking there was very much wind up there. And apparently it was just enough of a cross breeze to catch and throw that one arrow kind of way off course. So I shot again, tested the wind against my fur here. I was able to correct it. So he had to have at least a couple of practice shots, I would assume.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
now
I mean,
want
he
to
has
go.
the time for it.
Oh yeah, all day long. You can sit there in a tree. So
I don't know. It just seems very weird that he hasn't managed to get the shot.
maybe he's just a terrible marksman. I don't know.
And where's he going all day? Everyone in the town hates him.
That's a
Well-
good question.
Okay, so if he's hunting vampires come out at night. Does he sleep
might be
during the day?
underground.
Well,
He might.
He said he slept in the tree, though. His blanket's there.
Hmm.
Unless he's gonna sleep without his blanket, which is crazy talk.
Yeah.
Has he gone back to harass Ferdinand again?
Oh, maybe.
Oh.
Yep. Blacksmith.
Oh,
Here we come.
dear.
Okay, the next options would be the castle, the blacksmith, the town hall, and the inn. Are you wanting to go straight to the blacksmith, or you want to go somewhere else?
Well, you guys followed me on this wild goose chase to the graveyard, so I leave it to you. I'm happy to go wherever.
Well, it was helpful. We have learned things.
I do want to go over there and retrieve my arrows before we go anywhere, and maybe look again and see if we could find where he may have been using the door or something else around in the castle area for target practice. Since I'm already going to be over there anyway, do I have any objections?
No, super into it.
That's fine.
Okay, so
Alright.
castle.
Yep.
Okay.
Retrieving the arrows.
So you make your way through the town square and head up towards the castle. As you head up to the castle, you notice the crowd in the town square seems to disperse. And as you arrive up to the castle, you wiggle your arrow in the door and pull it out. As you do this, you continue to hear the from the other side of the door.
Hello?
A small grin just slowly creeps into a big grin across Feldora's face, just evil as hell.
No, wait. Let's see if we can trick them into answering the door. Do you think it might work?
Gives a nod and then moves away from the door. Probably around a corner somewhere where he's less likely to be seen.
I gently knock on the door? Does that work?
As you knock on the door, you hear,
Excuse me? Hello?
everyone do me an awareness check, please.
Damn it.
So everyone else hears muttering and they're strained to listen to see what they can hear, and all they hear is the sound of Feldora sort of going,
Yes. 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 Come out, open the door, yeah.
When the yelp of fear came, did the panting breath stop?
It stopped for a couple of seconds and seemed to sort of speed up again.
I guess what I'm asking is they sound like they came from the same source?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Seeing the front of the castle in daylight now, do I notice anything amongst the scattered crosses and symbols on the ground or along the door or the locks or anything like that? Does anything stand out
notice-
differently?
You notice someone has obviously walked a path through these crosses and like other religious symbols. You notice that they are literally covering every single religious symbol you could possibly imagine has been sort of nailed to the ground in front of this castle. You see the couple of empty buckets off to the side, but again they seem to have a sort of slight layer of dried blood at the bottom. And you notice all around the door there seems to be marks of like weapons, as much as like arrow marks and like axe blade marks and stuff. It looks like over the years someone has desperately tried to get into this building and just been held back by this door.
Okay, I have an idea that I don't think is the right idea, but I want to share it with you, friends, because I need you to convince me that it's not the right idea. And what if we took one of these buckets of nothing and filled it with horse blood and came here with it? What do you think would happen?
I have no idea.
I was just gonna suggest see if we could find a back door or a window we can climb through.
That's a better idea, I think. At least that's a good initial idea.
Can we check for windows, please?
You look up to see if there's any windows. There are no windows, there just seems to be slits for like arrows like all the way up. You wander around looking for other ways in. You find that there are 2 or 3 other doors in, but all of them seem to have been like barricaded shut from the outside, and they have what looks like molten metal poured to keep them locked shut. Like sort of poured in between where the 2 doors would open, so there's no way they could actually open.
Oh, goodness me.
Damn.
This looks tricky.
If our goal is to get into this castle, which I'm not saying it is, friends, but if it is, I have oil and torches and a lightning wand, so we could set one of these doors on fire probably fairly easily if we needed to. I don't know if that's the right call, though. But if we were like, we gotta get in here now, we could probably make that happen.
I was also considering making our own door.
I'm still intrigued by the bucket of blood idea.
It just seems like the only time we've seen anything come in and out of this place has to do with these buckets, right? It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, and they've spent the last 4 weeks with an expert vampire hunter trying to shoot this guy. I don't know. I'm not sure what would be best to do.
I also don't really feel good about stabbing a horse and draining a bucket of blood from it, but
Just
I
for
wonder-
context sake, the sort of empty buckets outside are massive buckets. They are 70-litre buckets, which is about
Oh.
15-gallon buckets.
so it's like half a horse right there.
Yeah, you couldn't fill that. That would be far too much.
Yeah, I guess we have as much time as we want, but I would feel bad about myself, I think, if I spent all afternoon poking holes in a horse and leaking them into a big, big bucket. But maybe we could make something happen with even just a little bit. If it is a vampire, which I don't believe it is, but it might be something that needs blood, maybe they don't need a whole bucket for them to be interested.
Well,
What do you suggest?
if we bring some blood and it is a vampire, then we might be more likely get through that door. And
So what do you
if it
say?
isn't a vampire, then we might figure out what's going on.
So we just
It
cut
did look
ourselves
like
and
a
drip into a bucket?
Yeah, we could do that, or we could find an animal, cut part of it open, or we could find a bunch of red paint. I don't know if vampires can smell blood.
Yes.
They can?
Most
Wow.
likely I can smell blood.
Oh, well then yeah, I can. I can't smell anything. Not with these allergies.
Oh, we can smell blood. We can smell the blood that's in your veins right now.
Well, that's very...
Eureka fear.
That's unsettling.
It does tobacco.
You know, I spent most of my life with people that don't even have blood, so it's a whole new thing for me.
Wow, that would be really interesting. I
Yeah,
wonder
they have
what they
this like
smell
blue
like.
goo. They smell kind of
Blue.
like the sky after a lightning storm.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah.
I like that smell.
Yeah, me too.
So, we all just, find a critter and just kill it, bleed it to death.
Roll me
Yeah.
nature or animal handling to try and find some sort of rat or squirrel.
Would tracking also work?
Yep, tracking would work fine.
Okay. Okay.
Nice.
Okay. You manage to catch some sort of squirrel. You basically kill it and pour the blood into this bucket. It barely covers the bottom.
All right, we got this bucket of blood. Wait, Feldora is hunting. Let's see what he finds first. Maybe he'll find something else too. We could put it in the bucket as well.
I suspect you can take down bigger prey than I manage.
Hey, don't sell yourself short.
But hey, we have dinner now.
Oh, that's
Yep.
true.
You manage to catch a rabbit. Again, you bleed it into the bucket. The bucket has got about maybe inch of blood at the bottom of it now.
We can try?
Yeah, a little bit's better than nothing.
Let's see what happens.
Okay.
So what you gonna do?
Bring the bucket to the door and knock on it and say, hey, we got fresh bloods.
Okay, as you knock on the door, you hear a "Ah!"
Excuse me, sir. We've brought you some blood.
What? What's this? And you hear this, like, scrabbling behind the door, and then a very small flap on the door opens, and the scrawny face that you saw before, with, like, very bloodshot eyes, just looks through the flap and goes, You brought blood?
Yeah.
Yes,
How much blood?
Oh, about an inch or so.
not a massive amount, but we didn't know why you wanted it.
I just need the blood. Where is it?
Sir, why do you need it?
I just need the blood. Don't
Are-
worry. Brian's here. Don't worry. Just hand over the blood.
Are you okay?
I just need the nightmares to stop.
Nightmares?
The eyes. All the eyes. They are watching. Can you feel them? They are watching us right now. Shh.
And
They are watching. Don't look at them. They'll see you. Well, they see you now, but they'll focus. Don't look at them. Don't.
okay.
I'm dealing with people.
It's fine. It's fine. Just Brian's here. Just hand over the blood.
What happens if we hand you the blood?
Oh, the dreams. The dreams stop. The dreams stop, and Brian can sleep. Brian can sleep. Brian
Are
wants
you-
to
Are you
sleep.
Brian?
Brian can't sleep, but Brian wants to sleep. Brian,
Stop talking at me. I'm dealing with them. They're helping.
so it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Just
Who do you
hand the
keep
blood.
yelling at?
Oh no, nobody's here. Just Brian. Please just hand over the blood.
Are you shouting at the eyes?
No, the eye. Shh, we can't talk about the eyes. They'll see us. We can't talk about them. They're watching. Look, busy.
Okay.
He seems to sort of, when you look through, he looks like he's sort of like whistling to himself without making any noise.
Okay. Bring the bucket over and go. It's not much blood, but I hope it helps. Can you write down what's going on if you can't say it?
Oh, you hear from behind the doors. Looking busy, Brian. Brian is busy. Brian is not watching the eyes.
But the eyes are watching you.
Can you maybe unlock the door so we can bring this blood in for you?
No. The door stays locked, or the Birdman gets me.
The bird mat?
Yes, he tried to shoot me earlier.
I know who he
heard his
refers
arrows.
to.
The Birdman's not here right now. We just checked his nest. He's gone. He's not. He's out. He's getting breakfast or
I
something.
heard him. I felt the arrow.
Oh, no, that was me.
Why?
See? Arrow.
Why
Here.
did you try and
Think.
shoot Brian?
No. Making sure that he could actually hit the door from his perch.
Why
It was
are
an
you
experiment.
shooting
He
Brian?
could.
Brian is good.
I
We
wasn't
checked-
shooting at Brian. It was mostly an experiment to see whether or not this person had a really good vantage point where his arrow could hit, and he does.
You are helping the Birdman.
we're
No.
trying to figure him out. He's a mystery to us.
He's weird. I want to fight him.
This
I wanna
whole
fight him.
thing is weird. Okay.
He's
so
an angry person. I want to fight him.
We will leave the blood just outside the door, and you'll get it when you can.
Is the bucket full?
Oh,
No.
No.
I need the bucket full.
Oh.
That's a whole
Hey,
lot of
listen,
rabbit and
We're
rat.
just gonna walk away a couple feet and get the rest of the blood. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge to my compatriots. Let's just go. We left the rest of it a couple feet away from the castle. We'll go get it. We'll be back in 2 seconds.
Good. Then Brian can sleep. Brian can sleep again.
Okay, guys, this guy's cray bananas. I think we just tell him that we got more blood and don't do anything different. He can't see the bucket from his little. We'll just put it a little bit away so he can't see what's in. We don't need to get more blood. We killed enough animals, I think. Yeah, we just lied to this guy, right?
Okay.
No, not feeling it.
I don't know. I just like to hunt. Sorry.
I feel there's a mystery here.
Well, yeah, the dude's obviously talking to voices in his head.
I think he is Brian, and I think that he's dealing with some other... I don't think this is a vampire. I think this is some curse or something. And I think that if we can get inside the castle, we might be able to help.
Yeah, or we get in the castle and we get attacked because we didn't bring the damn blood.
Yeah, but we're capable fighters.
Well, I know I am, and she's good at hiding, and you're good at
I have a lightning. I have the power of the storm in my little staff here. My little wand.
Okay. Still ain't got no silver nothings.
No.
My attacks may as well be spit wads at him.
If it's a vampire.
If it's a vampire.
I don't know.
Hmm.
He didn't look like a vampire that was getting through 15 gallons of blood.
He might have got interrupted.
I guess?
Remember, he had been fleeing. He wasn't able
Oh.
to successfully acquire said blood.
True.
He might be collecting it for something else or for someone else.
Yeah,
The
he could be a
eyes,
thrall.
whatever these things are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He could be. He could be a thrall.
Do we think the eyes are real?
Do I? No. I
Okay.
think it's all in his head.
No, I think it's
Personally.
not real. But the flumps taught me about magics that can mess with the mind. So it might be really real, but also not real in a way that we can touch it, if that makes sense.
Okay.
It might be real in his head, but not real enough for us to physically wounded enough where he will snap out of it.
If it
Gotcha.
was that, we could probably get him help.
Yeah.
Yeah, but who's
Like-
gonna want to help someone who needs the blood? They're all gonna look at
Well-
him as the vampire
Well,
and then try to
I
kill
don't
him.
know.
Probably.
We could
If
take
we
his
go
whole
to the
town if we
city-
needed to. I'm not threatened by those people.
if we
I think
took
the
it to
most.
city,
Oh, yeah,
I mean, someone
think
might
the-
be able to help.
yeah. The only one that I have any fear of having to fight would have to be Broomhilda at this point, because she's quite a stout lass. And yes, I can wield an axe, but not like that. She was taking one swing axes and cutting chunks of log as big as my arms in half in a single swipe, effortlessly.
She's a powerful woman, no question.
Yeah. So the only one I'm fearing of having to actually fight for whatever reason would have to be her. If the townsfolk all banded up and said, "Nope, that's the vampire. Kill it."
Well, she doesn't seem to care about anything much other than her work.
Also true, unless someone says, "Hey, I'll pay you X amount of gold if you'll help me fight with these people." That might not be a bad idea. Hire her services to help fight.
We certainly could.
It'd be worth a
But-
shot.
I'd
So
like to roll awareness to see if there's any prey animals around while we're talking.
Okay. No. While you're all off to one side, you hear a sound like a sort of you turn around and you see the sort of small hatch is opened and the bucket's been pulled through the hatch and slammed shut again.
Oh, man.
Okay.
He got it. So, who in the town do you think is worth talking to if we're not going to just stand here and bang on the door, which I don't think is necessarily the right thing to do, because those doors are pretty big. So,
It-
there's the council folk who hired the vampire hunter, this Uwe character.
And the other one? The one who was going on about religion.
Jacob?
Wasn't that
Jake?
Oh no, Jacob, you're right.
Yes, might be.
Also, on the blood situation, I've thought about it, and perhaps maybe someone at the inn would be able to point us in the direction of where they get some of their fine meats. Perhaps there's someone that's raising a farm. I didn't smell any pigs, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're not, a little bit out of town.
Yeah, they have to butcher the meat somewhere.
Exactly. I didn't stumble upon, any scent of a butcher shop or anything, but then again, I wasn't actively looking for it either, honestly. So maybe we'd see if we can get a hold of a butcher or something and maybe buy a good sized sow or something and slaughter it, drain it of bloods, and then knock on the door again.
That could work.
That's a decent amount of blood, pretty good sized pig.
That might be enough to buy us entry, and then we can find out what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
I have a feeling that we're going to need to force entry to a certain extent. I think we just saw that the slot in the door is big enough for a bucket to be slid through. I don't see why they wouldn't just do that again.
True.
We put it in front of the door, like before, except a little further back. So when they try that crap, stick a mace or something there in the door wedge. Be like, hey, look, you're not able to get the blood, are you? You won't be able to unless you open the door.
I'm a thief. I'm sure I could fit through that.
Okay, worth a try.
Definitely worth a try.
Put it out a little bit further away from Brian's reach, where he can't reach it, where he thinks he can reach it. When he attempts to, he just can't, and you can slip your little paws in there and unlock a latch or two.
Yeah. Yes, that should work. Okay, so, blood.
Okay. So, as we get into the early evening, your choices are remain at the castle, the blacksmith stables, the inn, the town square, and the graveyard.
Just out of curiosity, not necessarily for this choice, but if we wanted to, where in the town might we find the council folk hanging? Is it more of just a guess?
As you look down from the castle, you see a sort of older man walk out of the council chamber and stand and walk up to a sort of podium that seems to be in the town square, and it looks like he's preparing to make a small speech.
Okay. I think that this is a good plan in order to get entry into the castle. But I also think that there's something else going on, specifically with either Uwe or with Jacob. And I say that because all of this misinformation is coming from them. Like, they hired a vampire hunter to kill a vampire. They said his name was Bill. They said he was a holy man. There's just a lot of pieces of what they brought to the table that I feel like are wrong. So I feel like it would be advantageous for us to try to clarify some of that, or to just see what's up with them, because I feel shady about them. And all that religious stuff, and I sort of point down to the ground and all this stuff around us, and that Jacob is telling everyone that this guy's a holy man, and that bloodshot old guy inside didn't look like a vampire. Vampires don't look crazy like that. At least they do in the books. I mean, in the pictures, they just look like pale people. I just feel like we might want to figure out a little bit more of the picture of what led to this situation before we sneak into the spooky dark castle with molten metal sealing the doors.
Would we be able, if we went down to the town square, would we be able to get there in time to hear this part of the speech?
Yes, you would get there before the speech began, because it's sort of as we get into the end of the previous time slot.
Okay. And
So
if we were to try and look for a butcher, where would be our best chance of that?
Depends entirely where you think there'd be likely to be one.
Well, I think the town square is a better bet than some of the other options.
Probably better than
Frankly.
the graveyard.
Well, I don't know. Butchers are often near the middle of town.
Yeah, I think that would
So-
make sense.
It's probably worth a shot, if that's what you guys think.
Yeah, I think it's worth it. Also, I wanted to sit by that fountain for a little while because it was pretty crazy looking. We just sort of been jumping past it. I love a good fountain.
Fountain it is.
Okay, so town square?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
You make your way down from the castle to the town square, and as you get into town square itself, there's quite a lot of people there, and you hear,
Everybody, just take time and just, I'll begin talking in a minute, and you'll be happy to know that your beloved town council has made another deal. And you people will all benefit, and you will not be at all victim by that bastard vampire.
What kind of deal do you think they made?
They better not be with us, because I didn't have anything to do with anybody. And if they sit there and lie, I will shoot an arrow at them and
We'll
call their
stop you.
bullshit real quick.
The townsfolk, are they like getting riled up? Are they like excited?
they're
Are
all
they just sort
they're
of malaise?
talking amongst themselves, seem quite excited. At this
Okay.
point, the old man goes,
Now, any of you who weren't here for my earlier speech, I want you to go and speak to, where is the girl gone? Astra's about somewhere. Speak to them. They have more little bags for you. And everyone knows the little bags contain cloves, and cloves are good against the vampire. So I want everyone in town to have one of those little bags. So keep looking around and find them. And once you have them, make sure everyone has one. And if your friend's not here, take one for them too.
Do cloves help keep vampires away? Have you heard of this?
I thought it was garlic.
Cloves of garlic.
But clove is also its own thing. The flumps use them in their scented smoking sometimes. They roll them up in like big leaves. Smells nice.
humans use them in meat. It makes the meat taste weird.
Yeah.
Do we see anybody carrying any little bags?
You see a couple of people like clutching these bags, and like all sort of like a couple of them sniffing them, and then sort of talking to each other about them quite excitedly.
Can we smell them
Yes,
from where we are? Can we tell if they are cloves or cloves of garlic?
they are definitely cloves.
Huh, that's very weird.
Right. Everybody, right.
Ashton.
Listen again. Hello, and hello to you too. Your beloved town council has made another meeting that we are going to get everyone some steak. Now, this has been a suggestion by one of our beloved town people, and everyone is going to be allocated some steak. Now, how will this help me against the vampire? I hear you cry. Yes, even you, I see you cry. Are you thinking it? Now, the thing is, we've been told that steaks are good against vampires, so what you need to do is carry this steak around with you for a little while, just till Bill finishes his job. And if the vampire comes near you, sort of lunge it at him, and he'll go, and run away. So, all of you, when you get your steak, keep it on you, and once we have got rid of the vampire, we'll all have a big dinner together.
These guys
At this
are
point,
crazy.
Feldora just kind of shakes his head and pretty much face palms, just like, oh, God.
These guys are from Crazy Town.
Yeah, I think I'd rather go back to the castle.
I want to lean on one of the townsfolk and say, is that Jacob or Uwe? I'm sorry, I always get them mixed up.
Oh, that's Uwe. Jacob's the young one.
Oh, thank you for clarifying, townsfolk.
Right, so if anybody got any questions, before any of you go anywhere, we're going to have an impromptu town meeting shortly in the inn. Now, this is because, and I'm giving you full disclosure, Ernst has said we need to have a town meeting where Jacob is not there. Something to do with Jacob being something, devil adjacent or something like that. And Ernst thinks it will get more done about Bill if Jacob is not there. So, town meeting about Bill in the inn very shortly. Please everybody attend so we can all get your thoughts and feelings about Bill.
So,
Excuse me, town person.
are you talking to the one you were sort of asked questions of, or the one
Whichever
presenting?
one is close enough that when I say that to, they turn and look at me.
Mhm.
Could you point out where Jacob is staying in town?
Oh, I'm not really sure where Jacob lives anymore. His mother used to live out the end of the town, but, I don't know if he still lives there.
Okay, thank you.
Everybody just remember, bring your clothes everywhere you go. Remember that, because clothes sounds like clothes and you wear them everywhere. That's how you remember. No, bring them everywhere you go. You see any vampires,
At that point-
throw them at him.
At that moment in time, Feldora looks down and is like, I'm not really wearing any clothes. I'm wearing my weapons, and that's pretty much it. I got my fur.
I have some clothes because they have pocket.
Yeah, but you're a sneaky one. You need the pockets. I'm a fighter person. I don't really need the pockets.
I find things and put them in my pockets.
I fight things. I don't need to put them in my pockets. Usually too big.
True, yes. Can I smell a butcher's?
All you can smell in this town square at the moment is a very strong smell of cloves.
Okay. I gently walk up to somebody in the town and go, excuse me.
Oh, a fuzzy person. Fantastic. Are you coming to join our community? We'd love to have some fuzzy folk here. We've been strongly lacking in diversity. It'd be great for the towns if we had some fuzzy folk.
I don't know yet. I might.
We have some lovely new houses we're going to build on the south side. They're going to be really nice and look out over the lake. It's going to be very beautiful. You would love to come live here. Bring your family, all the little fuzzy folk running around. It would be wonderful for tourism.
That sounds quite charming. For now, could you tell me if there is a butcher in town?
A what?
Someone who kills farm animals and dices up the meat.
Oh, I thought for a second, you meant that bastard vampire. No, we don't really have one. We used to have one, but he emigrated to that other town, and we don't talk about him anymore. His meat was terrible anyway.
I see.
But we have far better reasons to be staying here in Dorohesk.
But, sir, Sorry, I need to speak with someone who is a skilled butcher. Is there
Skilled
perhaps...
butcher? Well, let me think. Well, wouldn't Ferdinand do? He's sort of the odd job man.
Possibly, yes.
Yes,
Thank you very
Very
much.
skilled young man. I mean, I remember when I was his age, I was never close to as skillful with my hands. I was always better with my feet, Natural dancer. That's what I am.
I see.
I mean, some people are born with 2 left feet, and, I feel bad for them because they can't just enjoy a good dance. I love a good dance. What I think I'll tell Jacob we should have another dance. I haven't had one in long enough.
That sounds like an excellent plan, sir. And I start to back off.
Looks down towards Bertrahm and just whispers in his ear, "This bastard started to really annoy me."
Yeah, me too. I want to ask him 2 questions, and then I'm happy to do whatever, but I think they'll help me understand what's going on here.
Oh, hello there. You've
hello.
got another question for your beloved town council. I mean, I don't recognize your face. You must be new.
Well, we've heard tale of the wonders of your town and, all of its majesty and had to come check it out.
We're not just a turnip farm anymore. We've got so much
you're
else
much
to
more than
offer.
that.
It's wonderful.
Of course.
I'm glad new blood is coming into the town.
It's wonderful. I was curious, are the steaks and cloves complimentary or do we have to pay for them?
No. They're in the budget. You're paying your taxes for a reason, and the town council look after you.
And have the taxes gone up since the vampire situation? Or are they about
They've gone up a little bit, but we had to pay for Bill, you see, and, Bill wasn't cheap. That's the way a budget goes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, all we need to do is Bill needs to, finish his whatever Bill does. And once Bill's done, we'll pay him, and then the taxes can come back down again, you see.
I do see. My next question is, we've been hearing all these wonderful stories about this Jacob fella. We hear he's a little bit
Jacob,
young.
yes, he's a lovely young man.
I can't find him. We've been looking all over for him.
We'll have to introduce you sometime. You know what? We'll have some tea and scones one morning. Oh, I love scones. But
Where
the little
where might
things
we
in them,
find
the black things that are really tasty. Yes, I really fancy a scone now. Where can I get one? Maybe it's Aunt Rosa's got some. I'll have to speak to her tonight. Maybe she should tell Astrid to make a big batch of them. That would be wonderful. I'd love to have some of them.
Yeah, no, I like a good scone too. So, how do you know Jacob's not gonna accidentally walk into the town hall meeting though? Is there a place?
Oh no,
he
it's all
hides
right.
or something?
All right. We've told Jacob that he's not coming tonight. He's quite happy with it, in fact. Ernst
hanging
was
out with
very
his mom?
insistent, and Jacob said that if Ernst was really insistent and he wanted to have that meeting without it, then it was fine. And, Ernst is Ernst. I mean, he's like me. He's an older gentleman. He sort of appreciates being heard, if you know what I mean.
I do. All right. So I guess we can't find Jacob.
Oh,
right now if
Jacob's
we're
a
looking for him.
wonderful young man. He'll be about somewhere, I'm sure. He gets out. He's very married to his work. I mean, when I was a young man like him, I didn't work that hard. I mean, maybe that's how I got to the position of power I am today, that I took myself at my own pace. But yes, Jacob is married to his work a lot more than I used to be. I mean, I've been married many times. I mean, more times than I can actually want to admit, if you know what I mean. But yes, I love being married. I mean, I don't miss my wife.
Question, Dungeon Master question. Is there a sort of roll or a check I could do to be how much is this guy on the level versus how much is he just sort of basically
Won't
just
smoke up your butt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do
Awareness?
me a awareness roll. So you see.
All right.
You're not sure what he's talking about. With the amount of enthusiasm and the eye contact and everything, he seems to be quite showman-like when he speaks to you.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. I thought this was maybe some sort of scam to get money from the townsfolk. That's what it seems like to me is happening here. They're raising taxes. They don't know what's going on. They can just keep this problem going as long as they want. Or whatever this blood thing is, it's totally not related to any of this. And there's somebody who's eating blood or something. Or they're not eating blood, but I don't know. I think that the goal here is to keep this cycle going. Whatever this cycle is that we have happened upon of the unable vampire hunter and the blood collection and now the taxes being raised and all these nonsensical things the townsfolk are doing, I think this is a circle that's meant to keep going. And I don't know why. That's what I think.
Yeah, it doesn't feel quite so simple as that. Like, there's another piece to this.
Oh,
But I don't know where we would find it.
Well, there's all these interesting characters that, like, I'm really curious to meet this Jacob fella, but we also haven't met Ernst, who's the other town council member. And I don't know, that guy that was inside, like, I'm just thinking about Brian. He sounded scared. He sounded terrified, you know?
Yeah.
Should we check out this town hall meeting, or should we do something else?
Okay. Your choice is the castle, the inn, or the graveyard. This is sort of getting into late night. Uwe is sort of going,
Come on now, everybody into the inn, get yourselves some chairs, and oh, there's Ernst. Ernst, how you doing? And
when you see Ernst, you notice this like large, fat, bald man, and his eyes are kind of saucer-like, and you recognize the look. This is the same one that Bertrahm had earlier.
Oh, there's no point talking to him then.
You're very wet, Ernst. What's been happening? And why were you in that barrel?
Oh. Is Ernst responding?
He's responding, but he's very vacant.
Okay, there's no point trying to talk to him then. Where do you guys want to go?
Well, I'll tell you what I'm thinking. If not back to the castle, I'm not sure what we would accomplish there if we don't have something to get that guy's attention. But maybe we're thinking too inside the box. Maybe we could sort of jimmy that latch open and get in or something. I'm worried that if we stay and listen to this town hall meeting, we're just going to listen to a bunch of these guys talking in circles unless we, like, start causing chaos inside, which I'm a little hesitant to do, but I'm also totally okay with doing.
Yeah, at this point, Feldora is wanting to avoid the whole damn discussion because he don't know how much of the talking in circles he could do, because I typed in the live game, I folds arms to hide the flexing and retracting of claws.
Yeah.
He was... It's just... I'm sure if anybody was actually looking him in the face, especially his companions, they would notice he had his teeth gritted and he was trying everything in his power not to snarl and just attack. He was getting very frustrated.
Maybe not the end then.
Yeah. Let's keep the claws away while we can.
Yeah. Though the idea to tip them with silver came to mind while he was flexing and retracting them.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
I'm in support of that.
Me too.
So, if everyone in town is going to be at the inn, the
It's
options...
best if Feldora is not.
Yes,
Well,
definitely.
we also know that Jacob is not going to be there, right? So he might be at his mom's place on the outside of town, or he might just be, I guess, wherever, wandering what's going on.
Could he?
When I asked around, people didn't really give me a straight... They were really caught up in the hullabaloo of the event, but I did hear he spends a lot of his time at his mom's on the outskirts of town. He keeps coming up as, I feel like, a key to this wrong information.
It's interesting that he's the only one we haven't come across yet.
Yeah.
Alright.
I think the options are really between that or going up to the castle and trying to force our way in.
All right, crew, the way I see it, let's take the inn off the table because I don't want Feldora getting into a fight with a bunch of peasants. So, the castle, we're dealing with Brian and Eyes and Bloodman. The graveyard, because it is around nighttime, Wilfred will probably be there, so we could talk to him. So I guess it's more, what do we want to deal with? We want to deal with Castle and Bloodshot Eyes, blood-taken dude, or do we want to deal with the grumpy old Billy Bob, aka Wilfred?
Tough choice.
It is. Very tricky.
Flip a coin?
Yeah, let's flip a coin.
Okay.
Odds or evens?
Odd.
Right, odds are the graveyard.
Okay.
All right, let's go to the castle.
Okay.
Okay.
As everyone sort of like gets shepherded into the inn, and you hear,
Right, come on, you'll all have your say.
you make your way up towards the castle. As you make your way up to the castle, you notice the castle door slowly opening a little bit, and this very timid head poking out, looking around as if trying to work out where everyone is. Then there's a and you notice an arrow embedded through the head, and it just collapses forward onto the ground.
Oh no, Brian!
They got him?
He did.
I'm gonna run over and see what's going on.
So there's
right behind
Run
you.
up to the castle.
scrawny man lying with an arrow between his eyes, and you hear a sort of shout of "Ha!" from the graveyard, and you notice someone jump down from the tree and happily start running towards the castle.
Is there anything unusual about Brian?
Well, you're just looking at the body with an arrow through its head at the moment, so
Is he bleeding?
Other than an arrow through his head.
there's blood running from the wound through his head, but he's basically looks like he's been insta-killed.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, what about the rest of the form? Mostly human looking?
Just human, very, very scrawny. You can examine it if you want.
Yeah, I'm gonna examine him.
What do you want to look for?
Check his hands to make sure, that he doesn't have any claws, and then, maybe looking at his teeth to see if they look all sharp and pointy.
Okay, roll nature. You look at his fingers, he looks like he had nails, but they've been bitten away to basically nothing, and there's every single one of his fingers is quite bloodied.
Oh.
You notice that there is sort of dark crimson covering to all of his hands, as if it's been stained with some kind of blood. And as you roll up his sleeves, you notice that the blood seems to go to about halfway down his forearms. And you notice all over his forearms are hundreds and hundreds of slash marks.
Oh.
Are they in any sort of shapes or symbols?
No, they're just hundreds and hundreds of line slash marks.
Are they more defensive slash marks or self-inflicted slash
They
marks?
look self-inflicted. And as you check his teeth are slightly yellow, but look surprisingly okay.
The horse that I saw, his teeth couldn't have made that cut. If it was him, it couldn't have been a bite.
Let's go inside the castle and see what we can see. I don't...
Okay.
Unless you guys want to talk to Wilfred, I don't think he has any answers for us.
Wilfred
I don't
walks
think I
up
can.
to the body. He shoots it point blank in the chest, through the heart. Then he picks it up, throws it over his shoulder, and starts walking merrily while whistling towards the inn.
I want to
Wilfred,
shoot him with a laser blast so bad.
I know. Wilfred,
What?
let me know when you examine him if you think he was actually a vampire.
I don't care. I get paid. I get to get the fuck out of here. I don't care.
And he just
Okay.
continually starts merrily, properly merrily whistling, walking towards the inn.
Okay, fair enough. I guess we try inside then.
Let's go into the castle.
Okay. You push the door open the castle. Inside there is one or two more buckets just sort of lying around, all empty. Behind the door that's open, you see at least 30 sort of deadbolt locks. So it looks like it would have been almost impossible to shunt this door open. And behind the door, you see a small corridor leading to what looks like some sort of study.
Oh, God. Okay.
What does it smell like in here?
It smells kind of like dried blood and that sort of sweat, desperation way when someone's been cooped up in a room for too long.
So, basically smells like dried blood and insanity.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it dark
Is
in
there-
here?
It's very dark in here because you're at quite a late night.
Alright,
As
I'll light a
you
torch.
walk into the study,
Oh.
you see that the fire is very, very close to going out.
Poor Brian. Is there anything
Yeah.
else of interest in this room?
In the sort of study, there is, from the left to the right, there is a table with what looks like a large bag of something on it. There is a half-eaten bowl. There is a sort of leather-bound book. There is the fireplace with a rug in front of it and a chair with a sort of looks like a discarded blanket. And to the far right of the room, there looks like two exits. Both have been barricaded heavily with furniture.
Where was this guy putting all the blood?
What's in the bowl?
You examine the bowl. It seems to be full of half-eaten porridge.
What's in the bag?
Oats. You recognize it as one of the bags of oats from the stables.
So, he was eating porridge.
And feeding the horses, it would seem. Or he was
Can one of
stealing
you check
from-
out that book for me?
Yeah, I got it.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Sure, no
Good.
problem.
Would either of you be interested in doing some searching?
Yeah, of course.
If you want
Okay.
to look at the book, do me a literacy roll. You flick through the book. The start few pages seem to be a sort of detailed itinerary of items of furniture, saying things like, for example, this elaborate intrinsic bureau is of this particular age and this particular make, and is valued at this particular amount. And it goes through, and the more you flick through the pages, the more the detail gets vaguer and vaguer and vaguer and vaguer, until it's just very basic. And then as you keep flicking through, the final few pages are just "help me" over and over again.
Well, that's odd, to say the least. Goes
That's
from very, very detailed what this is, where it's from, and all that, to help me.
that's disturbing. So what was he needing help from? Or help to get away from?
The eyes?
Possibly. Maybe we should try and find the eyes.
Looking around the room, I want to check out what's left in the fireplace, and I also want to sort of just finally go over the details of the room. I know sometimes magic leaves a bit of an essence behind, and I'm trying to just like settle myself and look around specifically for any residue of the arcane or otherworldly.
Okay. From what you can tell by the fireplace, it looks like he's been stealing logs from the inn.
Mm-hmm.
From looking over the rest of the room, there's no real trace of magic, although the more you look around things, the more the whole building begins to creak.
Oh. Should I do a basic mundane search? So that would be if there's anything behind anything on the walls, checking the walls themselves, checking floor, general dungeoneering.
Okay, roll. There is a trapdoor under the rug. There's nothing on the walls, anything like that. There was a couple of family portraits, it looks like, but they've all just been, like, taken down. It's as if they've been catalogued and then left.
Ah, right, okay. You never know, there might have been a safe behind one of them.
But there's a trap door.
There's a trapdoor leading down, and as you open the trapdoor, there's a sort of small bloodstains leading down.
Oh.
Okay. Wielding my torch in one hand so that I can see, I'm going to take out my wand, just
Okay.
in case. Guys, I know I talk a big game, but this is a spooky basement. Do we want to do this? This is what we're doing?
Draws axe and goes, I'm up for it if you are.
I'm going to stand behind you, though.
I want to know. I need to know what's going on here. This is so weird.
Yeah. I'm
So
very
the thief
curious.
goes first because she's the most curious.
Okay. Can you tell me what your sources of light are, please?
I'm holding a torch in one hand.
I think it's just that torch.
I think tabaxis have dark vision if we're going by
We do, yeah.
cat people.
I think so, yeah.
I might light a candle as well.
Ooh,
Okay.
I like that.
The thief's gonna light a candle.
Yep.
Happy
It's dark down
birthday
there.
to you. Sorry. So you start making your way down the stone stairs. When you get to the bottom of the stone stairs, you see in front of you a very large stone sarcophagus.
Ooh.
Guys, maybe it is a vampire.
Told you it was probably a thrall. Nobody wanted to listen to the big muscly tabaxi. Nobody wanted to listen.
So if I lift my candle, can I see anything else?
At the moment, for how much light a candle would give, no.
Okay. I'm going to walk over and have a little look at the sarcophagus.
Okay, it's very intrinsically carved. It seems to depict the sigil of the royal family.
It must be pretty old then.
Yeah, they died. That makes sense that they're buried under their castle.
Yeah. Is there a trail of blood?
The blood seems to stop at the bottom of the stairs.
Right.
Do you wish
Okay.
to open the sarcophagus?
Sure?
Okay, who is opening it?
I'll have a go.
Okay,
Something
roll
that-
strength. Yep, you manage to shunt the lid off the sarcophagus, lands on the floor and shatters into several pieces. Immediately there's a strong smell of blood.
Oh.
Ooh.
Inside the sarcophagus is a large wooden coffin. It looks very old and it looks like it's barely holding itself together. It seems to be sealed shut, and on the top of it is a small golden plaque.
Can I read it?
Mm-hmm.
What does it say?
It says, God rest her soul.
Okay.
Is the smell of blood coming from the coffin?
It smells like it's coming from the coffin, yes. It's very, very strong. As in,
Ugh.
like, there was a slight linger of blood in the air before, but since you've opened the sarcophagus, there's a very, very strong smell of blood now.
Okay. I have a bunch of oil. We should just light this thing on fire, right? No.
Hey, did anybody actually get any of those steaks?
No, I didn't think they were. Because it wasn't a steak you eat. It wasn't a steak you stab. Should have got one of those steaks.
Should we look round
Yeah, I have a
before
torch,
we
so we can
open
light
this
it up.
coffin?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay.
So I light it up with a torch.
Are you lighting the coffin up?
No, just the room, so we can see a little bit.
Everyone do me an awareness check, please. Okay. Feldora, when looking around, spots out the corner of his eye a sort of set of small green tentacles worming their way towards you.
Alright, back. Small green tentacles. I'm not sure
I
what
start
that is.
shooting lightning at them.
Okay, roll. You shoot one, it seems to sort of recoil for a couple of seconds, and you notice that it's made a couple of incisions on it, which are leaking this thick green ichor. It seems to retract in place, but not, like, pull back. It's just like it's trying to assess what kind of threat you are.
Well,
Could I do a nature
I
check
guess I'm not that much of a threat.
just to try and
Yep.
work out what we could do against this thing?
It's a green tentacle, leaking green ichor. You're not really sure what it actually is, or what it does, or where it's coming from.
Are there any tentacles in the sarcophagus?
No.
I think I'm gonna blast it again with another little lightning.
Okay, roll.
Oh man, I'm too freaked out.
You sort of cackle as you do it. You sort of have a sort of lightning effect going off, but it doesn't actually do anything. It just looks really dramatic.
Ugh. Man, it's all for show anyway. Guys, what do we do? This tentacle's crawling towards us.
I'm going to grab the torch and like move forward carefully and hold it like near the tentacles but not touching.
Okay, roll your... Actually, just do me a normal d20 roll.
Oh god.
Natural
No!
one.
Oh no!
Oh no!
The tentacle grabs the torch off you.
Now it
Because of the wounds coming from it, it flicks some green ichor into the flame. The flame starts going, and the tentacle slowly starts catching fire. It's now
Guys, we need more light.
It's now spraying burning liquid out over all of you. Can everyone do me a
No.
dodge roll to not be sprayed by burning liquid? And so, whoever got the 17, which is...
Me.
Okay, Anerin manages to sort of get her way out of there. The other two of you are unfortunately hit with burning ichor.
Oh! The worst!
Put it out, it's on I prefer. Yeah.
So, both of you are now on fire.
Skin. My delicate skin! I do not like this. I would
So
like to stop, drop, and roll.
Okay, roll to see how effective that is.
All right.
It's ichor.
I'm freaking out. I'm on fire.
Natural
I mean-
20, yes.
I mean,
somehow
pretty good.
through stop, drop, and roll manages to quench the flames.
Feldora, stop, drop, and roll. It works.
Okay. Stop, drop, and roll.
Yep, roll. Yep, you also managed to put yourself out, though your fur is significantly singed, and the
Oh,
smell
buddy.
of burning fur is in the air.
Oh, buddy.
Ew.
Slimy bastard will pay.
What are the tentacles coming from?
As you sort of notice the tentacle being on fire, the total room is more lit up, and you notice that one of the walls seems to be like dark crimson-y colour, and all these tentacles seem to be coming out of this wall. The wall is sort of pulsing like a heartbeat,
Oh,
and the more it pulses, the more tentacles seem to come through and sort of creep towards you.
are they coming towards us?
Yes.
Okay. I would like to just start taking things out of my bag and throwing them at it. So I'm gonna say a couple. One is I have some oil that I haven't used yet.
Roll for the oil first of all.
Yeah. Sweet.
Be careful.
You throw the oil, it smashes on the wall, and with the torch flying around, it begins to catch fire. The wall is now burning.
Perfect. I look to my friends. I don't know.
Do you have anything that ice spell or something?
I have one spell the Flumps taught me. I don't think it will help right now. I have a little lightning wand that I can use, and I can start shooting it with lightning. I don't think Mage Hand is going to help us here, unless we want to lift part of it up gently and put it down somewhere else. In which case, I got the spell you need.
Face palm. with the weaponless hand, just face palm hard. Just whap.
The ground beneath your feet begins to shake.
Can I do an awareness check, please?
You can, yes.
Essentially, I'm looking around in panic because, frankly, these tentacles are far too close to being snakes for my liking.
You just spot that the wall is on fire and there's more ichor being sprayed all over the walls, and all the other walls are beginning to catch fire as well.
I can't see anything else.
Nope. The place is very, very on fire now.
I mean, this problem seems like it's about to solve itself.
Ooh, how heavy do you think the sarcophagus would be?
It's very, very heavy.
What
I
were
wish
you
to at least
thinking?
push it towards the thing and see if it would stop trying to kill us all.
You can try. Roll me a strength check.
I'll help with that if I can.
Okay.
Typical. That's what I get a natural 20.
Natural
on.
20, yes. The two of you manage to shunt the sarcophagus towards the tentacles. The tentacles are sort of flailing around it and pick the sarcophagus up and start wheeling it around. And everyone do me a dodge roll to not be hit by a sarcophagus.
Oh shit.
Well, it was, good in theory.
Oh, fuck's sake.
Oh boy.
Yeah, you succeed. Bertrahm, unfortunately, gets hit straight in the chest with the sarcophagus.
Oh, damn.
He flies backwards and smashes into the wall.
Oh boy.
Can I pull him away from the wall so he doesn't go on fire?
That wall is not on fire yet, but everything else
Okay.
around you is on fire.
Well, that's something at least.
Yeah, so let's,
a lot.
get him out from up under there and run like hell out of here.
Okay, there are now almost 50 tentacles coming from the wall, trying to grab you.
Jesus.
We don't get out of here soon, we're all gonna be dead.
Okay, so
Strength check to move the thing.
the sarcophagus is now being flung around your head by these tentacles.
Okay, gonna grab the scrawny little hurt fellow and run like hell out. Come on, let's go!
Okay,
As he lifts me up, I'm just doing a Hail Mary. I grab one of my antitoxins and I pop the cork and I just chuck the vial of antitoxin at the writhing tentacles. I don't know. It might do something.
you throw the antitoxin, doesn't do much. It's not flammable, so it doesn't really extinguish the flames. There is a lot of fire at this point. The earthquake beneath your feet is getting stronger and stronger.
Guys, I think take me out of here, Feldora!
Yup, pretty much. Get the hell out!
I will follow them up the stairs.
Okay, you run up the
Anerin,
stairs.
follow us!
And as you run and sort of burst through the door of the castle, you look down at this fountain below and you see a sort of youngish man wearing a sort of black robe. His arms are outstretched and he sort of goes,
Brothers, sisters, I bid you welcome Ipsakok to our world.
Oh, shit.
and as you go, what? You feel behind you the building split in two, and this massive, like several hundred stories high creature rise from beneath where the castle once stood.
Boy.
It's covered in hundreds and hundreds of eyes, and eventually it blocks out the rising sun. You did not save the world.
Oh.
But
Yep, we all
Hi,
died.
Brian.
you may not have saved the world, but where can people find you to get more of your goodness? So, starting with Cinder, where can people find you and what can they find there?
Oh, cool. You can find me on Twitter or Instagram or Reddit. On Twitter, you can find me at Cinder_Blocksal. On Instagram, Cinder_Blocksally. And on Reddit, I run the subreddit Monstrous Anonymous. And I illustrate and design D&D monsters and homebrew things of that nature.
Fantastic. Next we have Anthrax.
I'm literally just on Discord. I have no other prior experiences with anything else. This is actually my first time being recorded while playing games, so it was fun.
Well, that's all we can ask. And Dragon, where can we find you?
Well, you can find me on, or involved at least, in most of the Penance RPG project. I am currently also in a Pretending with Dice new series, which won't have finished by the time this goes out. And my character from Abyss may turn up as an NPC somewhere else very soon.
Ooh. So, I say thank you very much to my cast for this evening, and I bid everyone...
It was wonderful. Thank you, Dungeon Master.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for listening to this episode of our 2019 Open the Dungeon Halloween series. The story was written by Nikolai Pupsky and Artie McNeil, with all music by Daniel Boström. If you would like to be involved in future Halloween recordings, please send us a message at Penance RPG. This year's episodes are also a part of the All the Horror 2019 collaboration. Check out #AllTheHorror on social media for more gruesome goodies. If you would like to support Penance RPG in future projects, or just think you'd love to have our Halloween logo on a shirt from our recently opened Teespring, links can be found in the description. Until next time, good night out there, whatever you are.